The death track stretched across the crimson wasteland of Kepler 442c, like a scar carved by the gods themselves. For 3 millennia, it had stood as the ultimate test of courage, skill, and survival in the known galaxy. Representatives from every spacefaring civilization had attempted the race. None had succeeded. Most had died trying. Commander Zix Thala of the Arcturian Empire stood at the observation deck, her 4 eyes scanning the holographic displays that showed the track's deadly configuration. Plasma storms, gravity wells that could crush a starship, fields of crystalline spikes that moved with predatory intelligence, and the infamous void maze, a section where space-time itself had been twisted into impossible geometries. The Quellian champion lasted 18 minutes before the plasma storm consumed his vessel, reported her aid, displaying footage of the sleek, bioengineered ship being reduced to atoms. The Vrex warrior made it to the gravity wells 23 minutes before his exoskeleton was compressed into a singularity. Zix Thala's tentacles writhed with anticipation. Today, she would be the first to conquer the death track. Her ship, the Stellar Dominance, was equipped with the finest technology the Arcturian military could provide: reactive armor, quantum processors, and weapons capable of cracking moons. And the humans? She asked, almost as an afterthought. They requested to go last, the aide replied, consulting his datapad. Some obscure protocol about learning from observation. Their representative is. He paused, double-checking the information. Captain Sarah Chen, flying something they call the Persistence. Zix Thala's laugh was like grinding metal. Humans, the youngest species to achieve interstellar travel, barely 2 centuries old in galactic politics. They had neither the Zephyrian psychic powers, the Corvan's natural armor, nor the technological supremacy of the Arcturians. What could they possibly offer against a challenge that had claimed the lives of champions from races that had mastered the stars before Earth's sun was born? The race began. One by one, the galaxy's greatest pilots entered the death track. The Crystalline Collective's representative, a living ship of pure silicon consciousness, made it further than most 31 minutes before the void maze's spatial distortions tore it apart at the molecular level. The crowd of spectators from 100 worlds watched in stunned silence as debris scattered across dimensions that shouldn't exist. Hours passed. Champions fell. The death track claimed victim after victim with mechanical precision, each attempt ending in spectacular failure. Some were incinerated. Others were crushed. A few simply vanished, their fate unknown and unknowable. Finally, only one contestant remained. Captain Sarah Chen sat in the cramped cockpit of the Persistence, a small, ungainly vessel that looked more like a maintenance pod than a racing ship. Unlike the sleek war machines that had preceded her, the Persistence was built from salvage parts, held together with what the other species mockingly called human stubbornness. "Persistence, you are cleared for entry," came the transmission from race control. Sarah took a deep breath and pressed the throttle forward. The ship lurched into motion with none of the graceful acceleration displayed by the previous contestants. Instead, it moved with the steady, determined pace of someone who had somewhere to be and wouldn't let anything stop them. The plasma storms erupted around her as she entered the first sector. Where others had tried to fight through them or around them, Sarah did something different. She turned off her engines. The Persistence drifted, powerless, through the storm. The plasma, designed to seek out and destroy active energy signatures, passed harmlessly around the inert vessel. Sarah waited until she was clear, then restarted her engines. 8 seconds elapsed. The gravity wells came next, massive distortions that had crushed every previous attempt. Sarah didn't try to fight them or avoid them. Instead, she used them, timing her approach to slingshot from one to the next, building momentum with each pass. The Persistence wasn't trying to resist the force it was dancing with it. 15 seconds. The crystalline spikes sensed her approach, writhing and striking like living things. Every other racer had tried to blast through them or dodge between them. Sarah opened her cargo bay and began dumping garbage food wrappers, empty fuel containers, worn-out components. The spikes, programmed to target the largest mass signatures, attacked the debris while the persistent slipped through unnoticed. 22 seconds. Finally, the void maze loomed ahead, a section where space-time had been folded into an impossible labyrinth. Thousands of the galaxy's finest pilots had become lost in its non-Euclidean passages, trapped forever in spaces that existed between dimensions. Sarah didn't enter the maze. Instead, she flew straight up. The course designers had been so focused on creating an impossible labyrinth that they had forgotten the third dimension. While every other species had attempted to navigate the maze's twisted passages, Sarah simply flew over it, emerging on the other side as the finish line sensors registered her completion. 28 seconds. The galaxy watched in stunned silence as the Persistence crossed the finish line, its hull scorched but intact, its pilot very much alive. Zix Thaler's 4 eyes blinked in rapid succession, a sign of extreme confusion among her species. "How?" she transmitted to the human ship. Sarah's voice came back, tinged with amusement. "You all treated it like a race. We treated it like a problem to solve. Sometimes the simplest solution is the right one." As the Persistence landed at the finish platform, representatives from across the galaxy began downloading the race footage, studying the humans' approach. It would take them months to understand what they had witnessed, that while other species had brought their greatest strengths to bear against the death track, the humans had brought something else entirely. They had brought perspective, and sometimes that was enough.